I'm Mike, and this is Casey. Together we've been refitting our 40-year-old sailboat, a 1986 Tycon 30 called Camista. 15 years ago, with borrowed money and no idea what I was doing, I purchased her simply to be closer to a climbing area on Georgian Bay. 6 years ago, a shared passion for climbing brought Casey and I together. She had raced small sailboats, and I still knew very little about sailing. She taught me a lot, and now I'm hooked. Join us as we race to finish an ambitious list of projects this spring and summer. Will we be ready in time for launch?
We're back. We had a little stop in Owen Sound at our favorite taco joint, Casero Kitchen, and now we're back. What are we doing?
I don't know what we're doing. More boat jobs.
It never ends. We have a diesel heater to fix today so that we can do some fiberglass work tomorrow and it not be too cold. Although it's pretty warm right now. We're just in our sweaters. There's no ice in the bay today, and all the ice that I showed you in the video last week is melted. So spring's coming. Oh, it's summer? I mean, it's spring. Warm, but it does like gets you.
It's real.
There's a chill.
It's real warm, eh?
Yeah. It's damp.
It's a wet heat.
It's a wet heat. Oh, God.
Wait, wrong one. There it is. That's the good one.
Because of the cliff?
Yeah. So last week we had a diesel issue where we were erroring out. We've previously never had a diesel issue, really. But this week we got error 6. So now we're inside the lazarette. And we're going to check the fan. Let's see if it can spin freely. It seems to be spinning freely. So, kind of makes you think it's maybe an electrical problem. Makes me think it might be the motherboard. This is the backup diesel heater. I think I'm just going to replace the unit. It should be relatively easy. All I have to do is undo a couple screws and I can just swap one for the other. Here's the old one. Here's the new one. Here's the new controller for the new one. Unfortunately, it does not communicate with the old one. So they say error 6 sometimes can be this module or sometimes this. And because I can't swap this out, I can't check to see if the old module is busted. So we're just gonna do a full swap and put the new one in and sort of the old one later. It's a disaster. Casey sanding. And there's a nice sunset. So that's what we do around here. Screw things up. And then we fix them. And then we repeat the cycle. Screw it up.
Get a boat, they said. It'll be so fun, they said.
Screw it up, fix it up, do it again. It's awesome.
But you got something going on in there.
Yeah, almost. Got some scoots out there. Scoot.
Scoot.
Now I just got to plug in the controller.
So, exhaust connected.
Yeah.
Or that's not the exhaust, that's the heat
Yeah.
in
Well,
to the
it's
boat.
hot air out.
Yeah.
This is all temporary, by the way. No judgment.
Hey, you know what? If it's warm in here,
Well, yes, it's just not sitting on bricks right now.
who cares?
Not sustainable.
We'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
Right now, priority is just getting it going so we can fiberglass in here.
Yeah.
And work and do other things like sanding forever without your hands freezing off.
Yeah.
The sanding is coming along, but like I said, it's tricky because once you start sanding something, it connects to wood that's in good shape, and then you're like, well, you either go all the way or you try to blend as best you can. I don't know. I just it's just so overwhelming to thinking of doing all this woodwork. So like we said, we're just going to do these like high touch areas. So this was previously like pretty blackened up actually. So it looks pretty good right now. Try to get all the varnish off where we could and sand it down without taking away too much of the teak. If that's what this is, we think it is. And we're gonna throw some varnish on it and see how it looks. I wiped this table off over here that I also sanded down. It used to be quite patchy. I think you saw at the beginning of the video. It's really dark in here. So like this table, we have this patch here that now I haven't sanded. I'm thinking I'm just gonna sand the whole thing, otherwise it'll all just look uneven. So I'm gonna sand all that, and then, yeah, when I kind of like wiped this table off with just a damp cloth, the color actually came up and matched this side really well. So I have a feeling when we put varnish on, it's gonna look not so discontinuous, so that'll be good. I said I don't think we need this in the video.
But we're celebrating success. We have heat.
From within and outside.
Yeah. We now have the diesel heater working again. Yay!
We thought we were just gonna like casually film some things, but we've learned that it's actually really hard trying to film stuff when you're getting work done, right? What was I doing? So yeah, I don't know. How do I start? What should I say? Oh yeah, so I was gonna just do a little update on the leak situation. In our last video, we just showed you guys that we have this weird leak that pops up in the corner here in one of our two shelves in the galley. We had a quick fix last week. So the leak was coming from two screws that are holding the jib track down to the deck of the boat. And every time it rained, water was just pouring in, and we only knew that because this shelf was actually like looking damp. And each time it rained, our ice boxes were filling with water because all the water was just running through the shelf down into this back area and then dripping into the ice box. So we finally pulled the shelf out and took a look behind and saw this whole area was wet. And so last week we did a quick fix where we took the screws out of the jib track and we put some sealant in and put them back in. And we put a really nice salad bowl here to see what water came in because it did rain over the course of last week. And returning today, unfortunately, our quick fix did not work. It was drying out quite nicely last week, and now that it's rained all week, it is wet again. And we have, not only do we have water in here, but if you also take a look, so the important thing to know is like these ice boxes are connected with a drain underneath, so when this one fills, it'll kind of like offload into this one where you can pump it out. Now, as you can see, there's water coming out when I pump it, which means there's water in the ice box, and this is how much rain we got last week, so it's quite a bit of water. Quick fix was not quick fix. You know, leaks are part of having a boat. Everyone here around the marina says if it's not leaking, it's not floating. So it's just another boat problem. But the nice thing is, Mike did get the heater going again. Well, he didn't get the heater going. He actually replaced the heater with a new one. It's so nice that the heater's working again. It's like quite hot air coming back here. It is 100% the best upgrade we've made to the boat, especially here on Georgian Bay, because the water in Georgian Bay stays quite cold for a really long time. So even though it might feel like a balmy spring day here, the water itself can actually just be like 4 or 5 degrees for quite a while. So this is really nice, not just for the spring, but also for the fall. The other great thing about this heater is, and I just can't say enough about it, is that it's a really dry heat.
Hot as hell in here. Yeah, man, but it's a dry heat.
So the days that it's rainy and damp, it does a great job of drying out the boat. Even on really humid days when it's really hot, it sounds crazy, but we will actually just like blast the heater for a bit just to draw the moisture out of the boat. And it actually does a really great job of like eliminating a lot of the humidity that can cause other problems like mold and things. So yeah, condensation can be a challenge when you really warm the boat up a lot with cold water, but overall, it's honestly just been such a great addition. So super happy to have our heater up and running again. So thanks, Mike.
No problem.
So we're back in Camista and it's extremely rainy out. I think we're supposed to get something like 5 millimeters of rain an hour. So it's really raining, which sucks. But the nice part about that is we get to investigate and have live action shot of the leak in progress here. And we've learned some things, some not great things. We can see the seal that we did on this bolt right here with the nut on it is not leaking anymore, so that's great. But if you look a little to the right, we can see this one right here is actively dripping. So, and this we knew was a problem. We have a broken stanchion on the outside of the boat, so we're gonna have to fix that, and we knew that was gonna be a problem. So that one has to get fixed. There's the drip. 3, 2, oh, there we go. But the other thing we learned is if you look, there is a direction of water coming from the bow to the back. So we have to figure out where this additional leak is coming from, because we obviously have a leak somewhere here that's running into the aft of the boat. So our job today is to take out every single one of these boxes, these shelves, and look behind them and find the source of this pretty significant leak. I'm actually excited. As much as it sucks to know that we didn't solve the problem, it's always good to get closer to the solution. That always feels good. So we're not there yet. We still have a lot of water that's building up here in the back and therefore in our ice boxes, but I'm feeling good that we're gonna get to the bottom of this. We were just holding this in place, so. Bit of a gamble, so we're going to start with this one. Let's see what it reveals. Ooh, okay, it is not behind door number 1, or rather 2.
We are dry.
We're dry, which means this is the culprit. Okay, is it time?
It's time.
We're opening door number 1 instead. Dun, dun, nah, look at that! Holy shit! Oh my god! The river runs through it.
And a river runs through it.
Okay, so that appears to be the source of the leak.
Look at it. It is just dumping.
It's dumping.
Wow.
That sure
That
explains
is
a lot.
Amazing.
All right.
We have a fresh water source now.
Yeah.
We can fill our water tanks.
We don't need a water maker on this boat.
Nope.
Oh
Wow.
my god. Look at
Wow.
that. Oh my.
It is just pouring.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
All right, mystery solved.
Is that
Is
just
it coming from the
beautiful?
bolt?
Yeah, it seems to be that it is.
All right, well, let's tighten the bolt and see if that at least temporarily solves the issue.
Is tightening the bolt... Wait, or is it coming from some sort of hole? Mike, wait, it looks like it's coming from a hole. It seems like it's bubbling out of a hole. Holy crap. Okay, that's not good. Go in there and check it out. Mike's identified. Is that called a fair lead? Yeah. We think it's called a fair lead, but that middle part of the right there. Yeah, there you go. It's kind of just on the right side of there where there's like a big hole, and that's what's causing this crazy waterfall inside the boat. So Mike's gonna take the fair lead off, which means we have to loosen the tow rail a little bit to get it out, I think. And then he's gonna jam it full of butyl tape and see if that solves the issue. There goes Will, our friend, who's working on his boat today and is peacing out now that the rain is making everything kind of miserable. Is it refreshing?
We figured that the leak that was pouring into the boat was coming from, I think it's called a fair lead, where you put the mooring line through and then it goes to a cleat. Anyway, I attempted to remove it from the tow rail, but you have to loosen the whole tow rail to remove the fair lead to rebed it. So just as a temporary fix, it's raining like crazy. I reseated the bolts with butyl tape and cinched them down. And then there was actually a hole, who knows what it was from, but there was a hole right beside those two bolts that I've plugged with butyl tape. Not a great solution, but temporarily it will at least prevent the waterfall from coming into the boat. And then the secondary leak that we had, which was a slow drip, the slow drip continues, although a lot slower. Similar process, remove the bolt. It's at the stanchion base. That stanchion needs to be replaced with the new one that we have because it's destroyed. This new one needs to go in, but we need to wait for a non-rainy day to do that. So again, same process, pulled the bolt out, put butyl tape on it, cinched it down tight. It's still leaking a tiny bit, but nothing compared to what it was. So now we can let this shelf dry out and we can solve those on a nice sunny day and hopefully not have this problem again.
We hope.
We hope. I'm sure we'll have this problem again, but it will be at a different part of the boat.
Just to change it up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So the way that we discovered that one leak is because it was actually leaking through the box, the shelf, which is a box just like this one. So we always got the idea that we should actually just epoxy the boxes on the outside so that any future leaks don't damage the box itself. Otherwise we're dealing with the leak and then also fixing the box. So on a whim, we kind of just spun up some epoxy and decided to epoxy this box that we just took out. It's going to need a lot more layers and it looks pretty dodgy and has a bunch of bristles stuck in it, but like we don't care, no one's going to see that. The point is just to protect the box. So that's what we're doing. So this is going to dry while we head out for the week, but also yesterday I got a bunch of varnish done. So I'd been sanding our chart table. Our little tiny chart table looks really good now. I'm super happy with how this turned out actually. And like although all of these handles were so finicky to sand properly, they're not perfect, but they're pretty good. And I'm really happy with how they turned out. They, to me, look awesome. They're a little bit tacky still, but they're drying and it matches the rest of the boat. So super happy with how that came out. One other area that we had that I sanded just to see what was possible was this panel. And this is actually just like a really thin panel. And we had
Like a veneer?
Yeah, it's like a veneer, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it seems thicker than
Well, it probably is ply with veneer on it.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
So had to be careful about how much I sanded it, but because we had a leaky, not that like the chain plate is fine, but it was just the stay where the turnbuckles attached to the deck. That piece, hard to explain, was just causing some leak that was running down the chain plates. Like Mike already inspected the bulkheads and they're in good shape. There's nothing wrong with them, but just the water was running down and had damaged this panel of wood, and it looked really patchy before. So I'm so happy with how this turned out. It's, again, it's not perfect, but like looks really good.
You
and
can see the reflection of the teak bottle
yeah, how cool is that? So I'm super happy with how this turned out. It just looks more uniform and it just looks a little less tired. So really happy with that. So again, it's like pretty overwhelming because there's just so much wood in this boat, but I feel like doing more and more here and there, it's just all gonna come together so nicely. It's just a lot of work.
So I can't really talk in there because it's so disgustingly dusty. And we're basically just inhaling fiberglass dust. But it looks good. It's all dry. The anchor locker is dry. Obviously that's still going to continue to cure, but we left the heater on and it's in good shape. It looks like it's super solid and ready to do the next step, which is to continue to build the structure of the anchor locker. But now at least it's fully waterproof, reinforced, several layers of glass on it, and yeah, happy with it. So
One less leak.
one less leak. Yeah.
The heater's off right now, just so you know. Also.
That heater's on?
The front heater.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all
Dry.
it's all dry now. So
Awesome.
I think we can probably wrap it up, or at least begin to.
Put some things back in their place.
Yep. I mean, it makes perfect sense to have the cutting board right beside the tools, beside the fan, beside the battery, beside the tins, beside the gloves,
Yep.
beside the fridge.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Episode whatever. Done. Good.
Man, I'm really happy with how that turned out. Like, really, really happy. I was really nervous that, like, I would sand it and whatever this was would just start peeling off, but it didn't, and it held up to sanding pretty well, and I was able to, like, I didn't have to sand all of this, and I was still able to, like, make it look pretty continuous with the varnish, so
Yep.
I'm just going to keep going. I mean, you can still kind of see some of the discoloration there, but I can't ask for more. That looks great. So, yeah, super happy with that. Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah.